Alright guys, today we're going to be going over the top 10, or at least my top 10 NFL teams heading into the 2024 NFL season. So without further ado, here we go. And just FYI, these rankings are basically just based off of the results from the 2023 season, plus the off season, like moves, trades, the draft. So here we go. So before I start the list, I just wanted to add in the Dallas Cowboys as my honorable mention. I was going to put them in the top 10, but it's just something about the Cowboys. And I'm not just saying this as a salty Giants fan. But they have a stacked roster. They do really good in the regular season every single year. But guess what? When it comes down to the playoffs, they piss it all away and choke. I mean, they're just kind of and they haven't done anything in free agency, to be honest. They're low-key just a laughingstock going into the year. I know they're going to be really good, but they just don't deserve to be in the top 10. Starting off with the list, we have the Green Bay Packers, who actually, ironically, upset the Cowboys as a 7th seed in the first round of the playoffs. I think a lot of people overlooked the Packers last season, and I think a lot of people doubted Jordan Love, including myself. And after Aaron Rodgers left, they were set up to become a laughingstock. But guess what? They shut up all the doubters, and they were like 1 or 2 plays away from making the NFC Championship. And they had a decent offseason, so I think, they're really going to take a step forward this season. Number 9, we got the Cincinnati Bengals. Everybody watch out, because Joe Shiesty is coming back. The Bengals are looking to, return to their 2021 form and, kind of come back to what they used to be. They made the Super Bowl a couple seasons ago in 2021, but unfortunately they haven't returned since. Obviously, last season, Joe Burrow's season was cut short because he got hurt really bad against the Ravens in Week 11 and had to get surgery, or season-ending surgery. But Joe Burrow's back, and of course, you still got Jamar, and you got T. Higgins, and they just signed Mike Gesicki. So if Joe Burrow's under center, they got a chance. At number 8, we got the Buffalo Bills. Now, just like the Cowboys, the Buffalo Bills also, they kind of have a little bit of a playoff problem. 2023, 2020, and 2021 lost to the Chiefs each year. And I think 2022, they lost to the Bengals in the second round. But basically, they have a reputation, at least in the 2020s, of falling just short of getting to the big game. And let's not forget, they just traded away their best receiver, Stephon Diggs. It was kind of a question mark on the field. So this could be a win for the Bills in the end. And they ended up drafting his replacement, Keon Coleman. But, Josh is always going to be MVP caliber. So as long as he's on the field, it's never over. At number 7, we have the Miami Dolphins. I feel like Tua is a big question mark going into this year because they haven't signed him to a long-term extension. But it's okay because you have Tyreek Hill, of course. You got Jalen Waddle, and you just signed Odell Beckham Jr. So obviously, you're still going to have a chance no matter what. I mean, that is a stacked offense. And then who's the running back? You got Devon H., I think that's his name, and Raheem Mostert, I'm pretty sure. I mean, as long as they don't choke like they do every year in the first round of the playoffs and don't blow the division lead, I mean, they could definitely be a nice little sneaky second round team, maybe even conference championship team. They just gotta play. They just gotta do their thing. At number 6, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. As a Giants fan, I hate this team, but I gotta respect them because they have a very good general manager. They seem like they know what they're doing, but it just hurts because they stole Saquon Barkley from us. But anyways, they have a really stacked roster. They got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Although they had a really major collapse at the end of last season against the Buccaneers in the first round of the playoffs, I do think they're gonna bounce back really good this year, and it's gonna be tough for my Giants to compete with them because I think they're gonna win the division, unfortunately. But Jalen Hurts is a stud. They're looking prime. They're gonna be. I mean, they lost Jason Kelsey, but still, they're ready to go. Moving into the top 5, we have at number 5 the Houston Texans with C.J. Stroud and the gang. Rookie of the year, probably one of the best rookie athletes in all of sports for the 2023 season. C.J. Stroud is primed for another breakout season in year 2 in Houston. Obviously, he had a decent team last year that went to the second round of the playoffs, but in my opinion, I think they just got a whole lot better. You lost Devin Singletary, but it's okay. You got Joe Mixon, and you traded for, most importantly, Stephon Diggs. You got Diggs, Tank Dell, Noah Brown, Nico Collins. Their receiving core is loaded. And, I think they're going to go to the conference championship this year. They definitely remind me of the 2021 Bengals when Joe Burrow was like a second-year player. I think the Texans have a very bright future, and their coach is amazing. At number 4, we have, in my opinion, the most hardworking team in the NFC and one of the best rising teams in the league, the Detroit Lions. So they led the NFC Championship last year, I think 28-7 or something like that. But they were primed to go to the Super Bowl, but of course they blew it away to the 49ers. But they are my pick to come out the NFC this year. They are just a good freaking team, man. Dan Campbell is doing a fabulous job, and I think he's really building something special over there. And Jared Goff, I thought he was almost out the league, but he really redeemed himself. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's like an all-star. And they're just building everything. They got one of the best O-line. They got a pretty good defense. They're a big threat to opposing teams. At number 3, we have the Baltimore Ravens. Coming off of an AFC Championship appearance, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are looking to bounce back and
and finally get to the Super Bowl and maybe win the Super Bowl. They just signed Derrick freaking Henry. I mean, they got the best 1-2 punch combo in the league. I mean, in my opinion, my Super Bowl prediction is Lions versus Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to get over the hump this year and finally beat the Chiefs. Because let's be honest, every team in the AFC, if they want to make it to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl, they got to get past Mahomes. At numero dos, we have the San Francisco 49ers. In my opinion, probably the most complete team in the league. I mean, they have like an all-star at every single position. And they were basically like primed to win the Super Bowl last year. They were literally up by like 2 scores, I think, or 1 score. I mean, they were looking pretty good. But then they collapsed to none other than Patrick Mahomes. I mean, honestly, that's their only opponent. They could literally run through the NFC easily and make the Super Bowl every year if they wanted to. But they just got to get past Mahomes. They have enough talent. They have great talent. They just have to learn how to hold on to leads, to be honest. And maybe trade Brandon Ayuk. But that's really it. I mean, they're primed to probably go back to the Super Bowl again if they get past the Lions. And finally, at last, we have the Chiefs at number 1. They just can't keep getting away with it, can't they? Mahomes and the Chiefs just won their 3rd Super Bowl in the last 5 years. I mean, they have officially made themselves an NFL dynasty. Travis Kelce is a top 3 tight end of all time at this point, and Mahomes has solidified himself as probably, in my opinion, a top 5 quarterback in NFL history. He's going to be there for probably the next decade, probably Travis Kelce a few more years, to be honest. And they got the best coach in the league, Andy Reid. I mean, I kind of used to hate the Chiefs, but now I'm kind of respecting them. I mean, they are just definition of a good squad. Alright guys, that's gonna be the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed. Worked really hard in this video. Obviously, if you're into sports content, basketball, football, or baseball content, I'll be uploading on this channel 2 or 3 times a week, so I recommend you subscribe. And that's all. Have a nice day.